Bet. So, today is Monday, April 3rd. It's currently 10:16. So, what I'm basically going to be going over is what I'm going to be looking at as far as Nas 100, right? And so, today is probably kind of like a standstill day. I caught a couple trades, um, where I secured profit. But I definitely want to go over what potentially can happen, right? And so, when we're looking at this, using my strategy, especially, we see that we're in an uptrend, right? And the reason why I know I'm in an uptrend on a 5 minute, whenever I see that, everything is above my 2400 EMA, I'm mainly only looking for buys, right? I'm mainly only looking for buys. So until it breaks below this EMA, I'm only looking for buys. And as you can see, if I was to scroll left, the market's been buying ever since basically March 28th, where once that cross happened here, not saying I entered exactly there, but just to give you a perspective, it went up almost 6,000 pips in 3 days, right? And I'm still was able to catch a couple buys here today. Um, I could have caught this last one here, but after I caught the three trades before that, I could have secured this, but I mean I was good with the profit that I had. And so at this point, we've hit this major 4 hour resistance. So let me go ahead and remove these indicators really fast. We've hit this 4 hour resistance, right? If you look to the left, if I was to zoom out to the 4 hour, you see how it's been respecting this area. It broke above it right before the week ended on Friday, but ever since then, it's been struggling to stay above this level, right? If you look to the left, it's definitely an area that was respected over here, as we can see right here, and in the area that was respected even here twice as a support, right? So it's definitely a good little level. Um, and so what I'll be looking for is literally to see if we can get a clean break above here, right? If we can get a clean break above here, obviously I'm gonna be catching multiple trades with my stack strategy, but I also have a trade that I'm looking forward to reaching this point up here of around this 13,488 area. We could just round it up to 13,500, in which we'll be able to see a potential 3,000 plus pip move, right? Potentially, right? As you can see here, once we broke this level, it went to this next 4 hour level, which was a 3,000 pip move. And so now we're just waiting to see what the market is going to give us, right? We don't just enter trades just because we think the market's going to continue going up or we think the market's going to start turning down. We basically react to what the market gives us, right? And so as time is going on, I'll go back to the 5 minute because that's where I'm really getting all my entries from is the 5 minute time frame. Um, and I'll go to my strategy. It could have been to the point where, like I said, I enter my trade here and I could have had one that I just held for about a day and a half. That would have got me about 3,000 pips, right? But in between here, I'm steadily catching trades in between where I could have caught 300 pips, 300 pips, 300 pips, because that's really all I'm going for is 300 pips trying to get in and out of the market. And 300 pips is actually a lot of pips. And so if I'm catching that over and over and over again, but then I also have that one trade that I hold and just move my stop loss up occasionally, then boom, that's where you can catch these big moves as well as those in between moves as well, right? And so what I'll be looking for is if we can get this break above this level, like I said before, I want to be potentially looking to have an entry that I hold up into this area. Like I said, I'm also going to have those short-term trades where I'm getting in and out of the market. But we're just gonna have to wait to see what happens, right? And so let's just say hypothetically speaking, the market gets to dropping, right? And let's say let's say this EMA here, let me change the color to blue just so I can kind of match it a little bit. Let's say this EMA is above here and the market continues pushing down, right? The entry that I'll try to hold would be, once this breaks here and everything else aligns up with the strategy, would be to this zone first, right? This 4 hour zone, right? If it is to continue breaking down below there, if it is to break below down there, then I would potentially look for another entry where I could potentially hold it from this zone to this zone, which is another 1,000 pip move, right? But like I said before, in between here, I'm trying to catch quick 300 pip moves. Even if I go up 150, 200 pips, I'm also securing profit. So even if, it is to reverse, excuse me, even if it is to reverse, I'm still able to capitalize and make money, right? And so that's what I'm going to be waiting on tomorrow, especially to see, hopefully, you know, especially with this news coming up at 10 a.m., this red folder news, to see if it can give me um that push above, right? And if it can give me that push above and it can break above this level as well, like I said, I'm going to be having one entry that I potentially hold until we get to that 13, like I said, I'm gonna just round it up 13,500 level, right? We're gonna look for that 13,500 level. So that's the next major level that we were looking at. Um, and then after that, let's say it is to continue, it'll be that 13,725, right? And if you guys know what quarter numbers are, the quarter theory, those are definitely two major numbers when it comes to the quarter theory as well. And so, like I said, we're just going to react to what the market gives us. We're going to see what happens, and then we're going to go from there. So it's Wednesday, April 5th, 3 a.m. in the morning. So we're going to be looking at, what I'm potentially waiting to see out of the market. But then I'm also going to go over a couple of the entries that I caught yesterday. I caught three little entries yesterday, so um, all of them ended up making profit, right? So yesterday, right out the gate, I caught a trade. Let me see what time it was at. Um, Caught a trade at, where is it at? What was it? 455. I'm at 455. So when I got this break here, I got my first entry right here, which I kind of held this one. So a lot of times the first entry is one that I hold a little bit longer, um, in which this did go up at 1.800 plus pips. I remember. Yep. Um, I called that out for the group. I want to say I closed it in profit about 600, 700 pips, right? And I also got a couple other entries in which I enter again here, and I enter again, I want to say here, right? And so these are also one for the 300 pips that, I usually would go for, which I usually would go for. This one, I can't remember if I closed it out a little early, which I think I did. But the point of me getting in these trades is literally trying to get in and out of the market with these and securing profit, right? So even if I don't get the full 300, getting 200, 200 plus pips is good enough for me. And like I said, I still had got that first entry in which I held for a pretty long time, right? I was kind of hoping to see, the market continue pushing up to this next level. But since I had seen the red folder news yesterday, I was pretty cool on it and closed out the trade early, right? And so we still can see if it can break above and still get to the zone, or if we may start approaching towards
um the zone below, right? The zone below, right? Go back to the 1 hour. The zone below, which is right here. Um, so we're going to wait and see what the market gives us. Like I said, we always react to the market. We don't try to anticipate what the market's going to do. I just know for sure that I won't be entering a sell until I get below this EMA. So this whole time I'm still looking for buys. I know it's some news coming up today. ADP non-farm employment change and the ISM service PMI. And so we're going to see what these give us, whether it's a big push up, a big push down, and then go from there, right? So, like I said, if we can get this break above here, I might try to hold it to see if it can get to this next level above, which is like 13,500. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens.